Hello guys, small thing. Unfortunately, because of some unbeknownst errors, there has been some problems with the recording for Elendor season 4, episode 41, The Hollows. So unfortunately, because of that, this episode is just an audio format. So if you're looking to watch this content, I would suggest you check out the Twitch VOD. But unfortunately, there is no other way to watch the content, so you'll have to just listen to it. Unfortunately, we did not catch this until halfway through the episode, so it'll hopefully be fixed for the next recording. I'll see you guys at that one. Bye now.
Good evening, everybody. And why? Why has this become my plaguing thing recently? So if you haven't caught our Tuesday broadcasts in a little while, you won't have seen this before, but sometimes when I change scenes, my overlays, for some reason, don't scale to the screen that we're on. It's a pain. It's a painful experience I exist in as a producer. But anyway, hello and welcome to the Component Cast. Today, we're back with some more the Elendor Chronicles. But before we get on with tonight's episode, there's a few things I need to cover. First of all, if you want to support us, one of the best ways you can do so is either by becoming one of our Twitch subs or joining us on Patreon. Patreon gives us the biggest slice of the pie and helps us create more shows like this one. It also helps us do so many things else, like create supplemental stuff and create a royalty-free soundtrack which you can all use in whatever content you want to create. That might be D&D, it might not be D&D, it might just be fantasy and need some quirky little music, or you might be running a weird teleshopping channel that's run by a conglomerate from the great beyond, but who knows. Either way, we've got music for you. You can find it on Spotify or wherever you get your music by searching the Elendor Chronicles Volume 1. Also, the Tuesday show, Lancer, It's Just Business, is back in pretty much full swing at the moment. So you'll be able to catch us on more than one day of the week. Again, patent pending. It's D&D, it's TTRPGs. Not everyone can always make a session. So, you know, that's just how that works. But remember to join our Discord if you want more regular updates to all of our content. But if you don't also have any if you don't have any ways that you can help us monetarily, you can do so for free by liking our broadcasts, liking our content, commenting, and just getting involved. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with tonight's episode. We return, and so does my pain as the overlay doesn't fit the screen again. Would anyone else here like to give me a recap this week, or for a possible bonus, I'm still going to give you your question, but if you would like to get yourself a bonus inspiration this week, you can do so, mainly because I'm still fiddling with things in the background. All within terms of service.
There's not a lot to recap for what happened last session. We started in the carriage that was delivering supplies to the entrance position around the portal to the the portal to the Infinite Abyss. We met with the king. We met with many of the important figures who were leading the charge into the abyss, and we made a lot of decisions about what we were going to do when we actually got inside. We walked around the camp, we met some people. Ruby did some studying, surprise. Valymr went to speak with Havare, surprise. Breton went to try and meet some people that he thought were cool people, because, you know, that's just kind of what he's done now, surprise. Really just the old song and dance for what we got into. We decided who we were going to allow to use the ritual of the Platinum Chalice, because, you know, they're our very favorite special people, and we want to make sure they survive this. Unlike everyone else, let's face it, people are going to die. It's the Infinite Abyss. We took that evening, and then I think we went in the next morning. Like, we really did not tarry on that whatsoever.
Makes change for us.
And there's something that I immediately realized as we're talking about this. Elswin did not come with us, did he? Breton's mentor did not actually come through the portal.
He did. He's leading the army.
We
The king
did not
isn't
give him a boon from the Platinum Trellis. How the hell did we miss him? Wow. How the hell did we miss him? Yeah, sorry. We just never talked to him because we talked to notes. Monday notes.
Yep. Your thing says Hamo, Ferdinand, Vasil, Theo, Bassane, Elowin, and Rosalinda.
We were literally like looking for 9 people to give the power to. Like it just completely slipped mine. It's like, wait a second, is Elwood even coming through with us? He did, and we didn't give him a buff. That's rough. We might have to adjust that in the nearby future. But yeah, we went through, and as we came through, we immediately realized, right, bug swarms, they suck. We came up with a couple of strategies to try and alleviate them, including using a bug zapper, including using torches, and including using proper guidance tactics from the aerial position. It did okay, and it resulted in, I think, like 6/9 of the army being drained by these mosquito swarms, but no one was permanently damaged, and everybody was going to recover in time, but it still meant for one obstacle that we had barely managed to surpass, and just at the onset of coming through the abyss. As we were making our way along, we also picked up on a roaming band of demonic centaurs that had apparently spotted us and decided that they were going to treat us rough because we didn't look like we belonged here, and they were just going to wait for us to camp down with a little bit of magical reconnaissance. And we showed them what fighting an air force is like. And they definitely did not enjoy that experience, as they had spells that tried to warp reality dropped on them. They had eldritch cannons dropped on them. They had volleys of arrows and javelins and even a chain lightning. The leader did not get away. The second in command did not get away. The vast majority of them, it was like a 70% kill rate within the first 2 rounds before they realized somebody did it better than us, and then they left, and then we went back to camp to get a long rest.
Black Hole Sun. I was also Ruby was a flying swatter or bug zapper.
I said bug zapper. I mentioned that.
And my rolls are terrible.
What else is new?
Sorry, Midge. Did I not stretch that long enough? Do you still need more time to?
We are good. We are absolutely good. I just don't know why some things are being a bit weird. But no, absolutely. Get yourself a bonus point of inspiration. Well done there, Lake. Big up to you. Now, I get to ask you our question, which will also get you inspiration. You've entered the plane of the abyss, and rightly so, you know which god that you're going to be tarrying with most. But in actuality, they're not the one in charge of the abyss. Who, in the new pantheon, is?
Well, that sounds like a very, very easy question, Midge. And every single one of us should theoretically be able to answer that if we had access to your Book of the Gods.
Which is perfectly reasonable to assume that we would definitely have that information on hand. It just takes a little while to load.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's not what
Is it Feralax?
Oh, it is Feralax. Well done.
Yeah, the Feral Devourer. Also known as the Blood Beast or the Brimstone Horror.
Seeing a bit of a blood motif, right?
Noticing a recurring theme.
Oh.
God of the Wilds, Destruction, and Lord of Demons.
Well, Valymr, you've earned a party inspiration, so that puts 2 points of inspiration for you as you hit into today's session. But yes, Breton...
Add it to the pile.
Add it to the pile of rerolls, which you might certainly need. We left off with the aerial assault returning to be RTB. As the helos known as unicorns, Pegasi and Griffins land back at the army. What would you guys like to do? Where would you like to continue on from? What's the plan?
I guess all head full to
We were setting up for a long rest. We were making camp.
That too. That works too.
Sure. Okay.
Can we have like a perimeter of burning torches and have whoever is doing watches make sure that these never go out?
So, obviously, you guys can be part of the watching. However, resting an army is very different to resting an adventuring party. There's a lot more area to cover, a lot more ground, and a lot more setting up to do. You also have around 1/5 of the army being relatively sick. So it depends on how many people you would like to try and recover. So you need to take that into account.
I think everyone who is injured should probably try and get the full shebang of rest. And then the people who aren't injured on rotating watch. Because there's what, like, say 30 people or so that are not injured in the slightest. I think that's going to be enough for a watch.
It's a bit more than 30.
And then even then, like it's I think we've got enough for just those ones to do watches, and say if they have any medical training amongst the healthy, then that can also be something that they can tend to the drained.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone who was drained, they should get full uninterrupted rest.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, only the people of Giviamerville, not Giviamerville, Othray, which houses Giviamerville, were completely fine. Protected. Havaray were then the next best off, with the other the other kingdom complements all taking about a 20% hit, which overall is about 20% of the army, if I remember correctly. It was about 100. It was
151.
I think it was about 150 out of your 600 complement. So
I wrote it down.
Those people are out, not on the watch. Any other special precautions you want? So you want to make sure that. Like, how many people do you want on watch at each time? Like, how are you dividing it down? Are you assigning any of the other heroes to certain watches?
I only have to sleep for 4 hours, so I'll take a little bit of watch. I don't know the capabilities of the other heroes. It would be a case of if they want to step up and say, I can do this, then sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Ruby's gonna be studying.
Okay. So I guess we have some delegation going on. Everyone, I mean, the people who need to rest, but everyone else is going to be on watch at some point during this night. We've got a marching army. There's a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of people keeping watch. People are sleeping in shifts. That's just going to happen. We're pretty far removed from the mosquito swarms at this point.
Yes.
Keeping torch rows on the outside of the camp is just going to draw a lot of attention to us. The Abyss is already a pretty dark place. There's no sun here. So is this a natural no day-night cycle like it is on the material plane right now, where everything is just kind of prevalent ambient twilight? Or
funny enough, yes, it's like ambient red with and remember here you're in the steppe right now, so it's like For you, it's ankle, but it's like shin height grass everywhere. So there needs to be some preparation for like the actual putting up tents, etc. It's not easy to direct. People are gonna have to take time setting up as well.
I think the better order would actually be don't have any fire up, because if we can see, let's not draw any more attention to ourselves. We were wildly successful in running down the first group that we noticed that was coming towards us. Let's not tempt our luck and draw even more attention to where we are. Which, you know what, we're an army. There's no way we're going to stop every single person from lighting a campfire, so let's just,
you think
let's
people
not
can cook fires?
Yes, let's not like giant bonfires trying to light up the night so everyone can see. Let's just assume people can see. If you light a fire, like if people are freezing, if people need warmth, like fine, let them light fire. If we gotta boil water, boil your water, do your shit. But let's not draw too ridiculous. Like we're already sticking out like a sore thumb, anyways. I guess. Breton's taking watches. He's not leaving it up. I am looking at this fucking list of people now, and I just do not have it in me to be like, hey, this person needs to be off, because Breton has does Breton remove himself from this list? So we could put Elwyn on the list? Not Elwyn, shit.
Elwyn's.
Oh, Elwyn is on the list. What am I fucking saying? Elwyn is already on the list.
Okay.
I spelled his name wrong in the list of characters. Because for some reason I thought that was...
Oh, is that who Elwyn is?
Yeah, that will be who Elwyn
Jesus.
is.
I was going to say, I don't recognize that name. Also, Bethany, don't remember them either.
Bethany is the head scout.
Yeah. He's the guy who wasn't making the survival checks.
He was the wounded guy that was essentially guide that you kind of chose not to use.
The only ones I recognize really there is Vassal and Theo. Theo is Theodora.
Yep. You recognize the people you spoke to. Well done.
Yeah. Vassal and Theo can have
even that's an achievement sometimes.
I don't disagree. Lambert, I don't know.
Elwyn is his mentor. Bassane is the scout. Vassal and Theo from have array. Rosalinda is the cleric chaplain who is responsible for last rites. Hamo and Ferdinand are the members of I wrote down that the Squires of Tranquility that Breton met, that were the ones who received the Demal, and obviously us. We're here too. Thumbs up. Yeah, we got the notes on this one. Yeah, I think that covers pretty much everything. We're not going to be here long enough to dig fortifications, and honestly, I don't know what trying to digging fortifications would do to the surrounding area. That could invite all kinds of different terrors. It sounds like a nightmare of a time. So,
can I have a question? Ask a question, even. I don't need to have one. When an army of 600 people is marching, they make absolute mincemeat of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go to the rear of the column and see what it's doing to the ground?
Sure.
You say it's steppe, it's knee-high grass.
Yeah, it's like the grass is being screwed, really.
Is it dry still?
Give me an investigation or a nature check. This is a really low DC.
Oh, these are both... I have the same modifier on both of these. It's going to be great. As a 6.
It's hard to say really what it's like done to the ecology, really. But one thing is very, very clear. The army moving has kicked up dust. It's trampled the grass. But you've noticed that it's kind of quagmired a little. It's gone a bit wet. The grass looks to have been bleeding.
Oh, how tall and how abundant is this grass?
Like I said, it's, for you, about ankle height. Most people, half your shin. And it's everywhere.
I'm surprised we're kicking up that much dust if the grass is that prevalent and also apparently wet.
It seems like... So, in a lot of places, it's just been trampled. But in areas where, like, the plant itself has been damaged, like, properly, where something heavy's gone over it, etc., like a wagon, rather than just a man, or it seems to, like, be wet with what looks like blood.
Either way. Yeah. If a person is not immediately recovering from the issues with the mosquitoes, then they are taking at least a 2-hour watch at some point in the night. We're probably going to take a longer. It's probably going to be a longer rest because I mean this is an entire army that is both packing down and packing up in the morning. It's probably going to take us 10 hours to something to that degree just to do that. But I mean that's just the cost of we're moving with 600 people here.
Yep, absolutely.
Can only march 8 hours a day anyway, so 10 to 12-hour rests don't really cut into our travel time all that much.
Okay. So you begin to muster various sergeants and get the forces going.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there's a lot of army guys here who will have they'll have set camps before.
Yeah,
I haven't set a camp for more than a dozen people before, so if you guys know what you're doing, then you do what you're doing.
Yeah, this can absolutely be mostly delegated. But after about an hour and a half, camp is fully set and watches begin to rotate. Is there anything you guys specifically would like to try and do in this camping situation?
Study.
Okay.
Nothing really that specific, to be honest.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead.
I think Breton would just check in with. He's going to check in with Ellen, because he wants to make sure that he's going to check in with each of the leaders because they are all tied to many of their respective groups. But he's also going to check in with each of the leaders of the faction of the respective kingdoms, just to keep a running tab on what their own. He's letting it move up the chain. They're getting it from their soldiers and learning, okay, this is what's going on with our troops, so he can get the quickest approximation of this is what's going on with the army.
Sure. So essentially, you want to take stock of problems, etc., that have appeared throughout the. Okay.
He's doing the bookkeeping of all right, our supplies doing what we think the supplies are doing. We're not having any issues with that.
Yep.
We got a lot of people injured. They are getting their time on recovery. Are we going to have any loose? Are you so shorthanded that you're going to have empty spots in your perimeter? Do you need to be supplanted by another group for your time? Just that information.
Yeah. Absolutely. I believe so. Obviously the one kingdom had a certain amount of forces that were more devastated than others. They will need to essentially once you've taken into account people who need to then be staffing as medics, looking after people, making sure there's cook fires and stuff. They have very little in the way of the ability to be on the perimeter. So instinctively what's happened now is they are the closest to the command section of camp, at the center of camp, so that none of their tents are on the perimeter essentially. It's not like you've got a specific medic tent, like apothecary tent, mostly because of one, the number of wounded, but two, this is only a night camp. It's not you're not going to be encamped here for days, months. It's not a siege camp. You don't need definites of each, if that makes sense. from what you're told, the supplies currently seem to be fine. The precautions were taken initially before entering to make sure that the barrels that the supplies were like bought in were blessed and protected against the ravages. But people have noticed that once you break the seal on a barrel, it goes bad very, very quickly. So it's one of those... Basically, they're rationing the barrels of, okay, once this is open, we've got to start cooking things up, even to have it like the next day, probably. So people are essentially taking the time to make like hard rations rather than that they can have cold the next day or reheat, rather than like, let's butcher a pig. Water seems to be okay. Currently, you have 2 months' supply of water. Which again has been blessed. One of the issues that is happening, the wagons that are carrying a lot of supply, and you've noticed this as the army's been moving, this isn't great terrain for moving wagons through. And they've lightened the load by, some of the paladins obviously have called their mounts, and they've like made rudimentary saddlebags for mounts to carry. You do have some pack animals that you bought through. And then it's like a lot of men are having to carry satchels and bags and sacks. Which means when you're marching, the whole army isn't combat ready, but you have to kind of take it with the terrain that you've been moving through.
We'll get that. Breton's not going to specifically keep a perception check for this, but he is just going to mention the longer that we're going to be here, keep an eye for anyone who seems like they're taken ill from the food. Potentially from the fact that the food goes bad, but also if any soldiers brought their own personal supplies that weren't blessed. Soldiers have flasks, flasks have booze, they bring their own supply along. If that starts to turn, that just shows how badly this can take effect in personal food items, and that's a thing to be concerned about. He doesn't want people to start getting sick and us not know why, and be like they're tapping into their own jerky supplies, and that's why they're losing their shit. Like, let's cut down on that. Other than that, yeah, he's just checking in with the bosses, making sure Elwyn, Rosalinda, Hemo and Ferdinand are good, and then we can crash out, hopefully get our first rest off, and then get ready for March Day 2.
Okay. I'm going to ask that each of you roll a perception check for a different watch. It's going to be, just give me the D20 roll, because this is the watch. So who's taking the first?
I got a 12.
It looks like Valymr is rolling the first one with a 12. Ruby gets a 19. I guess I'll roll for watch number 3. I got a 15. Okay. So far, so okay.
Nice. There is one incursion of those flying proboscis entities at night. But it's dealt with. Like, you are automatically mustered, you three, to deal with it. But it's dealt with by the time you get to camp. It was only 2 of them, and it looked like they were going for the pack animals. But they were brought down way before anything. So actually, the night goes pretty uneventfully. With that...
That's good news.
With that, the camp does begin to pack up. It's the morning.
Do I need to make my checks?
Yes. Are you planning on... Are you planning on not sleeping?
No, she's gonna sleep.
Okay. How long are you dedicating to research then?
It's a 10-hour bit, assuming Ruby puts up her own tent. Probably 2.5, 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah, give me a roll.
We got 8 hours on the march, and there's 24 hours in a day. That leaves 16 hours. So even if you dedicate 2-3 hours to setting up and building up, and then like that still leaves you 13 hours if you're sleeping for 8 to 5 hours of study time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
1 or 2 checks on.
Sorry, that's DM doing real quick day math. If there are different hours in the abyss, I'm sorry, but I assume that we were keeping to a normal schedule.
Well, but the thing is, Ruby wasn't researching the entire walk. It's only been whilst you...
Yeah, not a full day, but 5 hours of study time is what we were working with.
Not great roll, 6 and a 2 for a 14 and a 10.
Yeah, you're stagnated right now. Honestly, probably flying around on fire with the fire shield bug zapping. Whilst it didn't uninspire you, it's taken your research down a slightly what if path, and you're going, oh, this could. Well,
what if I was the meteor?
Yeah, and that's led to some less than fruitful results.
Yeah. This is what happens when you ask ChatGPT to design your spells.
What if I turned myself into an arrow and just flew at them really fast?
This nice little spell brought to you by ChatGPT. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Please don't use it seriously.
But yes, the camp begins to be packed back up, and you are ready to begin your maneuvering again. What's the marching order?
In the morning, have the troops actually managed to recover in the morning?
It's by your assessment, it's a lot of them have. You're down to about 2% of people who were slightly more affected than others.
Okay. We'll make do with that.
But yes, the majority of the forces are okay.
Do we need to make any changes from what we were doing? We had a good thing going with some of it, one of us at the back watching, one of us at the front helping navigate and watch, and one of us at the middle watching as well. More people can take on,
guy directing as well was pretty useful, I think.
Yeah. More people could take on their regimental decisions and start filling in the ranks of the people. Now that people have recovered, they can go back on watch, and we got more eyes on the road. I think that works out. Having them. Having the local leaders also, sit with their groups and watch on them. Back to normal marching standards.
This time I will help. What's his name? Bloody.
Bassan.
Bassan? The scout, yeah. But I will help him do the visioning and give him advantage.
Okay.
Instead of the other way around.
Sure. What are you guys taking as your ritual today?
I don't think we changed it. Yeah. I think we keep on going with the ritual of the hero's aid.
I assume that means we have to re-roll the hit points.
Yeah, because it would have worn off. We should have to re-roll again, wouldn't we?
Yes.
4d10, ladies and gentlemen.
I liked my frickin' however much I had.
Holy shit!
Jesus, I got 26, but not to be done up. Ruby got 33.
Nice.
Holy shit!
What a roll.
My HP is officially over 200!
216.
Oh wait, 151. The number I wrote down is that was my normal HP is 151.
Yeah, remember to revert to your previous HP.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I have 19 temp and 170 as my. I hate the new unlock
Yeah,
the thing
just remember to unlock it. Yeah, it's a thing.
Ass.
It's not that much longer.
Yeah, I'm now 170 max, then 19 temp.
So yeah, I doubt Ruby did break 200 with her actually adjusting back to normal hit points, because she's wavering around 150 last I checked.
It's your max HP is increased by that amount plus temporary, right?
Yes, you also get 33 temporary hit points.
So I'm 173 now.
Yeah, she just gained
33 temporary. So over 200 effective hit points.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Like that's a.
Look at me. I am the tank now.
I gained.
You're close.
I just
You're
gained
close.
38 HP from this roll, which is only 5 less than you gained in just temp HP. Sorry, just 6 more than you gained in temp HP.
It was a good D10 roll.
It was.
We got screwed last week, and you got the Goblin last week, so we're just.
Even then, last week was only 29.
Still more than I've rolled.
I mean, fair, but you know.
To be fair, I also don't need it because I am the tank. I am the tank of this group. Also, take the mirror shard around. Let people grab that so that each of them have their extra daily dose of luck. Because we have the time and during pack out for everybody to get their hands on that, just so we are as ready for this march as is.
Can you do the mechanical give us long rest so I can get my luck point thing to go back on?
I can indeed.
Sweet.
Oh, this is a chance for me to double check this effect that I hadn't read before. Oh, that is just that good. Jesus, okay.
Oh, you need to re-add your temp from that long rest thing.
Yep, we gotta re-add the temporary because it reset our temporary when we did that. That's fine. Do that right quick. I'll ask during break, but I need to know what the formula is for giving yourself advantage on something.
What?
As like an effect. Saving throws.
You should.
Like, is there a way that I can just give myself the effect advantage on saving throws?
So one, you can there is, but you can literally just hit the advantage button at the bottom left before you hit the roll, and that will also do it.
It is, but it's a thing where if I could just set it to myself as an effect, I wouldn't have to worry about forgetting it.
True.
Because it is a
save as well.
So as I'm reminded, the Blade of Equilibrium gives me advantage on saving throws, and now that I'm 17, it also gives everyone within 30 feet of me advantage on saving throws. Mm-hmm. So that is a thing that is just now an ongoing effect.
So on you, like 30 feet of glue.
Yes, it is the inspiring blade of inspiring for a reason.
I feel
it's not redundant. That's how inspiring it is.
Mm. Inspirational, really.
Yes.
And I have no idea. It was Roach that was the one that knew all about Fantasy Grounds.
The resident expert. Yes. No, I don't want to do that. I'll figure it out.
Can you like apply an effect to yourself on the combat tracker?
Yes. Should be able to.
Not on our end, it looks like.
$190 temp or max right now, plus 33 over.
Nice.
Is my HP.
Okay. So with that, you all begin setting off for the day. The army reforms into a similar marching order. What marching order would you like for the army? The same as yesterday? Or would you like to
Same
change
as yesterday, let's keep it simple.
Okay.
I think that works for us.
Well, then you said there's like 2% of still people who are sick. They can be in the center, just in general. I don't think it changes too much. It's not like a full company this time.
I take it Ruby and Breton are still air support or air patrol, combat air patrol.
If you'd like to be, yes.
Breton is taking the middle. The way we had it yesterday is I think Ruby was taking the rear.
Yeah, Ruby's in the back.
That way we have one of us at each end of the actual marching column to keep the best eye on it we possibly can. I'm going to test this right quick. Okay, I got it. Is that easy?
There's no bugs. Don't have to worry about being on bug patrol this time, right?
Currently, there's no
We've moved
Those are up
for now at least.
Evolved past the need for bug spray. If only. Oh, that sounds good, actually. I want that.
Living in Finland, I bet.
I've actually been quite lucky, though it did absolutely hiss it down with rain today, so tomorrow's probably going to be nasty.
Yeah.
If it's hot.
I was doing LARPs and crafts yesterday which required spray painting, and I had to go outside, and it's miserable.
I can see on Midge's computer it's currently 19 degrees and sunny, so
Get fucked.
oh, hang on, finance headline. Never mind.
It is.
As if you can tell from the ray of sunshine that is illuminating our DM here.
Yeah.
True.
Sorry, I'm doing some head math right now. Just I'm working out if I've laid out this army correctly, because I have a visual marching order. And I have to keep track of 600-ish people.
Suddenly, oh god, what's it called? Was it the Banner Saga? It was a turn-based action game where in between the story elements and the actual like combat, you marched with an army and responsible for both maintaining the army, the supplies for the army, and just getting from point A to point B. That was a game series. I think there were 3 of those. We'll continue ad-libbing because we need to buy our DM a little bit of time as they work on the finer, complicated details of everything that is clearly happening to them.
Yeah. I'm making sure I've got troop counters correct. No reason whatsoever.
I'm sure this is going to be, perfectly reasonable.
Look, I'm trying to give
Nothing
you
to worry
guys
about.
This wouldn't be the first time I've run a war table for D&D, Midge. I've run a finale to a campaign that was, all right, guys, these are your soldiers, these are your representatives of the army. Roll initiative. It's not just you that's fighting the hordes of the undead.
Yeah,
Wait, we're playing Kingmaker? What?
No, that was actually the end of...
Clearly, each of us needs to take control of 200 other PCs.
Essentially.
That was my finale to Despair Rising for one campaign where they had to go up against Orcus, and Orcus had just been... They gave them weeks to just raise the undead hordes. And it's like, all right, this is the battle. Enjoy.
My bard had the wand of Orcus at one point.
Yes.
Need to play the Banner Saga again. And apparently there's a Banner
It's a
Saga 2 which you
very
can play as
odd
well.
situation.
There's
Anyway,
a Banner Saga 3.
Jesus.
so
I need to get through Cleric here first.
you all,
I think there's a Banner Saga 3.
you all begin to move out, and so you want me to roll the survival check now, Valymr?
I mean,
Yeah.
I can roll it just with advantage, and you tell me what his modifier is. If you want me to roll the dice, but essentially, yeah, it'll be his modifier.
Remember, he only has the one reroll. That's the only thing I will say.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Then absolutely, let's do that now. Would you mind rolling me the survival check? Breton, please give me a perception check.
Do I have advantage on this because I am riding a griffin and they are extremely good? But okay.
You do.
What's the modifier on?
Oh, and Ruby, give me a perception check as well.
Well, I botched the fuck out of that. That was a 10.
What is the what's Basane's modifier?
3.
Bassane's modifier, he's a +7 to survive.
Oh, boyo!
Almost like it's his
With
job.
Really, those 4d10s were to prepare us for how badly we were going to do on this today.
Doi 20, which
Okay.
with advantage and a +7 is pretty low, but kind of a bit better than the Air Force. It's be rough winds up there today.
It's less about rough winds. It's the horizon line is very unclear due to forms upon forms of mosquitoes and mosquito
Again.
light. Yeah, it's they're not going to be in your way. It's just blocking you from seeing further and keeping a good watch of things. But with
Cloudy with a chance of insanguination.
But with a 20, Valymr, you're informed by Bassane that the army should be at the portal site by nightfall.
Okay. I'll pass that up via smoke signal or something. I don't know if someone wants to. I'll wave Breton down, and I know he can fly next to me, and I'll let him know. Get the message around.
Yeah, absolutely. You can pass that message on.
I mean,
Okay.
that's good time. That's the first leg of the journey that's basically done. But it's
Yeah.
also all the familiar territory is done. Now we get into the unfamiliar territory.
We need to siege a keep,
Mhm.
and then wait. By get to the keep is through the portal,
Yes.
or the keep is protecting the portal.
No,
No, once we go through the portal, we're on the plane the keep is on. We still have to get to the keep.
Okay.
Correct.
It's
You
why I
know
said
how far-
first leg is done. We haven't finished. We're still traveling.
You have reached a new level of the dungeon.
Sorry, you said dungeon, and that made me think of solo leveling, and just like, all right, that series is fun and all, but it should not have won all the. You know what? That's me getting just frustrated, and that's completely off topic. Anyways,
Or like the Aura Farmer anime, it's not very good.
it won like every single fucking anime.
Freewind won.
of
No,
the year.
Freewind won. Freewind was much better. Anyway.
Not last I checked, because people were really upset the fact that Freewind did not win anything.
Freewind won anime of the year.
Anyways,
I'm going to quickly show you guys this screen. It will allow me to put it up a level. There you go. There is your current army composition.
they may not have many men, but every one counts for 10.
It's essentially so the rough estimation of each of these shields is about 20, except for certain shields which identify your heroes and commanders, and I don't know why that one's now minimized. I will bring this up on the screen for everybody else, as in watching, to see in just a moment. I just know that all the overlays are going to be absolutely shat to high heck. Maybe if I just...
It's all like
increase it.
fancy and extra fancy, like fonts and stuff, and then 2 months in just like plain area.
Well, that's going to be changing with reliability. The one thing that I do notice here is that we've got a lot of very nice, very like well-made, craftable shields, and then we get to the very end of other. Who's being represented by the tiny pink? It's not a buckler, but I don't know if I can call that a kite shield.
That is the... I couldn't get a good representation of the unicorn shield.
Okay. Wouldn't that be under Havre though?
So they're under Arthur, due to commanders. I can move them up to Havre if that's a better.
Okay.
visualization.
I was just curious because unless I heard that they were they were a Havre branch. I was like that would make sense for them, right?
Yeah. I'll move it up there for thing. Actually, then I will move these guys. So those are the knights. Yes. So this is kind of your army composition. God. Minimizing
Every time you yeah.
Sometimes it stays, sometimes it doesn't. It's very, very frustrating.
Mr. Producer is having a moment.
Yes, I can now bring this up on screen for everyone else to see. It's going to cover our lovely faces until I can...
if you could have figured out a way to do this as like a text document, Midge, or something that you could have shared via Google, so we could have just logged onto the website and done it that way, it would have been a lot easier on you, I think. I don't know if you could have done the pretty pictures for stream, but...
The thing is, it's a picture for stream, plus you're going to need the picture for laying things on a map. These are tokens.
Okay.
Also, it's a nice, easy way to represent how many people we lose.
Oh, exactly. So... generally, some of these unit sizes are different. Some of them are single entities. Others are groups. So, for example, if you see a sword, it's like a group of swordsmen. If it's got a helmet on the top of the shield, it tends to be a paladin or an army leader. A group of paladins or an army leader. Goddamn. I need to change this around. Ignore this very image that might come up later. There you go. So, for example, Havre, we've got the... Oh, my God. Okay. Get out of it, you. You've lost your privileges to be on that screen. Right. So, Othray is mostly bringing complements of... They've got one group of paladins, and then it's men-at-arms, footmen. Quite a lot of them. Then there's Havre has its dismounted cavalry, who are acting as essentially foot halberdiers, foot horse. How do you call it? Like foot knights.
Dismounted knights.
Yep. Schultes is bringing a lot of men-at-arms but they tend to be slightly lighter armed, but better with range. They're essentially what will account to your battalions of crossbowmen for a lot of the time. With one unit of these are essentially foot knights as well. Lordelys has a couple of things. They have a group of foot knights, 3 units of men-at-arms, and this battalion where it's the shield, this is your supply depot. These are this is like your quartermasters, your wagoners. These people are like sent to. There's like protection of the baggage train, like direct drivers of any wagons you've got, that kind of thing. So stablemen, that kind of thing. Glesby also has a complement of foot knights, a complement of foot broadsword unit. And they brought some paladins, and then your other is stuff from like the capital and other groups of knights. So, for example, you've got the Onion Knights group here. You've got so this icon here. This is like the cleric lady that I explained last time, and yeah, you have about 2 months' supply. Currently, you haven't lost any full complements, so you're at full strength.
Yeah, our goal is to keep it that way. We'll see how well our goals face reality.
The first time we rock up to that Bloodkeep, we're going to roll really badly on the first siege tick, get a mass death event. Sieges are bad.
Sieges are...
Sieges suck for everyone.
Sieges do suck for everyone. But... rolling on, because nothing is seen, nothing is... You get to what would amount to be nightfall. And it's been in the distance for a little while, but ahead of you, you see the double arches of Spine Mountain that you know to have been the portal in the past. Bassan has managed to guide a decent path here. The first thing that occurs to you, and it occurs to you before you get there is the portal isn't currently active.
Is a
last-
problem.
The portal, when it was in the attic,
Hmm.
didn't we
There
have
was
to
a way
do
to
something
activate it,
to
yeah.
activate it? Yeah.
There was basically if memory serves, it wasn't like it wasn't a button or something you pushed. It was like not even an arcane sigil, but there was an understanding of magic that had to be had in order to be able to turn the portal on and off.
Yeah, I've opened the previous one that was smaller. Theoretically, I know the ritual, but
Well,
It-
we're gonna have to go through this one too. So
Is there any kind of structure other than the bone pillars?
So the bone pillars are like mountainous structures, and yes, there is other structures. As you see this colossal archway, you actually see that there's other spines coming off it, and it looks like that there are almost multiple little gates. There's one major where you site where you think a portal will come from, but there's also like little staircases up the bones, like the mountainous spine, and you also notice a lot of runes towards the top of the main arch, which you think the main portal is, the one that you saw flicker to life very, very briefly when you were charged by that Death Knight. You see what looks to be a small hut as well. Before the main archway as well, there is like this large blackened stone, it seems. Basan also talks to you, Valymr, because you're marching with him, and he says, he basically says, when they first approached, the portal was active. They didn't have to deal with this. But some, because you're not quite there yet, some other of his scouts that were left here, they have a small encampment nearby as well. So he advises that instead of stopping the army while you go talk to them, that you and he ride ahead, or you, he, and whoever wants to come ride ahead to get any information from what they might have seen, etc.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think probably we should take all three of us. And is there a way for us to can we get 3 people on your mount, Bren, or would it be better if we asked if anyone has a flying mount that we can borrow? Then if
Overall's a pretty big griffin. I don't know if it can carry 3 people at a good speed.
It would be 2 and 1 in claws. 2 people comfortably.
I think if we can just fly there, see what's up, and it probably should be all 3 of us going.
If we want to maximize, we're going to have to probably set up camp for the evening regardless. Like, this is after a day's march. We're not going through it right now. And it's better for the portal to be off while we're watching here, because we don't want to turn it on, only to realize as we've made camp, they come marching through with us already having the door open. Maybe that's not a good idea. But figuring out how to open the portal should take priority, especially if it's going to take time.
Yeah. And meeting up with the scouts to see if they saw how it was turned off. Or even if they're still around. I'm gonna. I've got rapport with the Havre people. I don't think any of them have griffins, do they?
One has flying mounts.
One does. Can I
Theodora.
request to borrow?
Give me a persuasion check.
$21.
Theo allows you to take her mount. It's that black it's that black Pegasi she has.
Ooh. Vibes.
You rode it before. That's where you were firing Eldritch Blasts from in the previous aerial encounter.
In that case, I will thank her profusely, and I was about to say I'll give her some of the wine bottle of Haverway wine, but that's probably cursed to all shit now, so I will refrain from doing that. All of my goodies probably nasty now. Anyway, myself and Bethany will ride up to Breton in the sky, and say about going to see this scouting party, meet up with them ahead of while the main force is still marching. I assume they've still got like an hour or so of marching left.
Yeah.
And as Silveril is faster as well than Ruby's wings, maybe she could fly with you. I'll fly with Bethany, and then we can all get there super hop skippy fast.
Yes, if we're still so far away from the portal, there's no point in dedicating people to stay here to keep an eye on it.
Well, the scouting party that was left.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're not camped around it yet, so there's no point in keeping people here to keep an eye on it. Because if we're going ahead to meet them before we get there, then we may as well just go ahead and get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all four of us will fly on ahead then.
Sure. Bethany guides you to what looks to be it's like one of those mountainous spines from before, those almost rib cage like jutting mountain bones, much like the portals been made onto. Off to it's probably the west, you'd surmise. But this one is almost like it's been broken off. And it's like a little bit of a shattered cove. And within it, you soon see a small tent encampment and about 5 individuals milling about. They're very, very hard to see. Like, they've got like the linens that they've made as the part of their camping structure have all been rubbed with dirt and made to look like the environment. There's like a lot of the grasses, so as well, have been woven into some sort of like subtle sheet almost above the main area of the encampment. So it kind of looks like a natural growth. Very well camouflaged in the time that they've been here. But you do see a few people milling about. And they clearly spot you as well as they look up, and then one of them quite obviously waves. You ride down. In the camp, you see 5 individuals. They look to be not as well off. Well, they look about as well off as Bethany did when you first saw him in the encampment, where it's very battered. Very battered. Whilst they're not wounded in the sense of combat wounds in game turns, there's like clearly like dried cuts, things that have been resewn, things that look like they may have been set. They've taken a beating. At least 3 of them have these kind of wounds, and then the other 2 are just fine but dirty. Would be the best way to put it.
Breton's going to give up a quick sense evil and good, or divine sense.
Okay.
Just on the group in general.
Sure.
We'll determine whether or not there are any celestials. I doubt it. Undead, maybe. More importantly, if any of these individuals might be fiends in disguise.
Sure. None of them seem to be fiends in disguise. They all come back clean.
Okay.
Basson begins he instantly cuts the chase and says, Benoit, how have things been here? Benoit speaks up. Max and the others still have not returned through. Not long after you left, a group of dark knights came through and closed the portal. They took something from the central stone up to that small hut. And then they left. They did not come towards the portal. They went what we think is north, the opposite direction.
This thing that they took, did you get any kind of look at it?
No. We are...
Enough for... Was it size-wise, though, just one carrying it, or...?
Yes, only one carried it. 8 points. And you see, like, a large telescope that's been propped up and then covered over with, like, essentially camo net. Like, they've made Russian reads, and you can take a look at the portal yourself if you would like. The portal.
Yeah, I'll take a look through.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
Okie dokie. A natural 20.
A natural 20. Okay, so you pick up a couple of things. The mountainous archway, the mountainous sides that the archway is built into and built from, it seems, with all these other smaller doors and gaps and circles, they all seem to be inscribed in abyssal script. You can pick out words here and there, then other things, just the direct translations to you through your eyes make absolutely no sense. It's nonsensical in certain places. A lot like the abyssal script that you saw with the blood silver when it was written on the walls through the planial shift.
Right.
The other thing you notice that you didn't see before is almost blending in with the same color of this dirt bone. You see chains. Large chains. 3 large chains that seem to be wrapping and spiraling around the mountains and this portal. The other thing that you see in that little hut is a very, very subtle light flickering like a candle from a small window.
I will compliment him on setting up the telescope just right, and then I'll pass over the information that I got.
Sure.
I will do some minor image to like let people know what I'm seeing as well.
Awesome.
This is the chains. This is what they look like. Some of the abyssal script. This is what it looks like. That kind of thing.
It's you can't translate the abyssal script into your minor image because it's covering the side of a mountain.
Right.
The magic isn't strong enough for you to get that detailed.
Right. Okay.
But you can give a good summarization of the location that you're heading to.
Crypt is broken up, corrupted, wrong. Doesn't make any sense. And this is, as was stated, the same thing that happened back at the keep. Or not the keep, the church back when we were investigating the blood silver. And that was evidence of the place being corrupted and being touched by demonic influence. Is there any reason that specifically would be singled out here? I mean, we're on the abyss. Isn't everything touched by demonic influence?
Could be a way to pool it, to coalesce it, to make it stronger in a certain location, or it could be because this is where the essence of the Bloodkeep on the other side, being a stronger presence of demonic energy, this is where it's coming through. Just spitballing ideas, I don't know. But maybe. Either way, I think we need to get into that hut, see what's going on in there, get whatever item / artifact it was that has been taken away from the portal, in order to turn it back on. And obviously we won't turn it on until tomorrow after everyone's had a sleep, but getting this item, this key, if you will, before we sleep, probably a good idea.
If we're going to go chasing down knights in the north, and we're going to be leaving the camp, we're going to leave it without our aid, so we're going to make sure that everybody's set up and ready to hold here.
We've identified a very decent bit of land not too far from here, in vision of the portal, that could be used as a good place to build a small palisade camp if needs be.
Perfect.
Sooner we hunt this down, the sooner.
Go ahead.
So the sooner we hunt this down, the sooner we can make preparations to go through. We don't want this to be taking extra days.
Yeah. But we do need to sleep before we go through. And if we are going to go and get this item, we have no idea if that is going to, one of the better words, kick a hornet's nest. Or a mosquito nest.
Well, we can't very well wait and go and do it tomorrow morning, because if we do, they might just get farther away if we're having to chase them down.
But
So
having
we gotta
them
do it now.
build a camp in a defensible location, and then us going to get it, and then all sleeping, seems like a wise idea in my opinion.
Man, we don't have to stick around while they build the camp.
True. But getting them into that position that, what was his name?
Benoit.
Benoit. Getting into the position that Benoit had mentioned seemed like just pointing out to them. And I'll turn to Benoit as well and say, will you be rejoining the camp then?
We'll try to keep this vision, this location stationed, but Armel here will he can return with the captain and can guide everybody to the location for setting up the camp.
Do an early check on it, make sure it's still clear. Last thing we want is to start guiding people into it, only to realize somebody set up the last time you checked it.
Raymond, Alphonse, go ahead now and see if you can get us some more intel.
Do any of them look like... You said they were like cleaning up bruises and scrapes and stuff. Do any of them look like seriously hurt?
Benoit, who's been talking to you, his leg looks like it's been it looks like it was broken, because he's got it in, like, basically he's taken off plate armor in everywhere but his leg, and then he's sort of, you see,
using it as a
he's,
splint.
yeah, essentially he's using one of his plate legs as a splint that is, like, wrapped up.
Can I throw a little bit of lay on hands into him to heal the brokenness?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you would say is a reasonable amount of lay on hands. I'll give him 10 lay on hands.
Sure. You just hear it as he just goes, "Oh, thank you."
I noticed it was looking a bit awkward.
When you're in a place like this, you tend to rely on the less magical healing as much as possible for when things get really dire. But thank you.
I don't trust imbibables right now. Food has been going sour after not long. If it's not blessed, and I haven't blessed my healing potions recently, so.
Fair enough. Okay. So, would you like to try and progress to the portal, or are you returning to the army?
I think we send got his name already. Not Bassane and the
Bassane and Benoit.
It wasn't Benoit, there was another one you said that was gonna go. I keep wanting to say Macron, but it's definitely not that.
No, Armel was he's just sent Raymond and Aaron to go double check the previous site. Two of them remain here, and then one's gonna go with the captain.
Yeah,
Sending
okay.
Basson back to the army to let them know about because they're gonna need to change direction slightly.
Yeah. I think it would be wise to entrust Basson with Theo's mount, and then if Silver carries me in claws to get up to this this hut.
Sure.
Think that might be a better idea. I don't want to be risking Theo's mount.
We're not gonna. I don't think it's a good idea to push chasing after these guys that rode north, because as I said, the longer they ride, the farther away they get, and if we need them to open the door, then we don't wanna go gallivanting halfway across the infinite abyss, just trying to catch up with people to open a door, only to come back and find out we got nobody to go through the door.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you begin to fly towards the portal. It only takes you a couple of minutes, and you see it now. Everything that I described to Valymr, but clearer. The central stone looks like it's almost piped in, cabled in to the rock around it. It looks like a large spherical-ish shape covered in deep set black. But up on the right hand mountain, I'm going to call them mountain, peak, bone, you see this little hut that has the staircase up to it, and you manage to fly up to. There's enough room just to land if you want to try to, but it seems to be a small one room, one window, one door shack made from the sort of stonework. Almost like a weirdly like a gatehouse office, like toll room. To a city gate from your plane of existence. The other thing that you notice quite heavily is there are various jutting spikes from the mountain all over, some of which have been used to impale the bodies of other creatures of the abyss. Like the torso part of a couple of those centaur-like beings have clearly been impaled and left to the scavengers dotted around. It's a rather grisly monument.
There's a light inside, which means either somebody is trying to draw attention or there's something in there to see, so...
Is there a way that we can get a better look?
At what?
Well, you said about this window with a candle as well. That's where I'm mostly focused on, like, that's where we need to get to.
Yep.
Is there a better way? Is there a way we can get a closer look without being spotted by potentially whatever is inside?
How fares your stealth?
I think I now have disadvantage on it, don't I?
Being in the claws of a griffin, you don't have a choice.
We could do a flyby. Try and like go high and then glide by, so there's no like flapping of wings either. Good idea.
I feel like you're just describing things that Breton's has actually done before. This sounds.
You are the owner of Flying Mount. I'm trying to come up
like
with
you're just at this point, like Valymr's just taking liberty. It's like should we just do this with Soul for real? It's like, well, no. I think at this point, like let's just land and go up. Like,
sure.
let's not put it off. Let's just go on up.
Chad walk with the shoulders.
Okay. Silverell manages to land on this little kind of plateau that's this small shack, this one room is built on. And it has a small, you hope it's wood, but you highly doubt it's wood, door. And yeah, there's this little what seems to be this tallow candle on the windowsill. And you can see inside if you went towards the window. Before you wanted to try the door.
Take a look.
Okay. Not gonna make you roll for it. Inside you see small table, chairs, what looks to be a bed, but then in that bed there is a body. What looks to be like the torso, head, upper legs, and upper arms of an individual who has been splayed open and has then somewhat morphed with the bed, and it's kind of they're breathing. You can tell that because you can see their lungs. And it's like their body is grey and bleeding, and then turns to like the brown dirt like stone bone structure. Like they've become one with the environment around them.
Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Yeah, perfect analogy.
Okay. Well, this is going to be an unpleasant conversation. Let's go knock on the door and see what we're dealing with.
Okay. You open the door, which again you really hope is wood. But all chances is not. And you see this same scene. Their attention isn't taken to you. In fact, like, they don't seemingly have like the top half of a head. It's like that's the point. From like nostrils up is where it begins to like morph with the bed, and it's like the skin gets stretched to sinew, and then sinew turns to this bone like rock face. And they have a mouth, they have a neck, they have a torso, the upper part of the arms, all the way down to like their waist, and then they've got the tips of their thighs before it goes again into the stone, into the bed. They don't seem to like notice you.
And this you said this cabin is like a small single room.
Oh yeah. Think Yoda's hut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Breton is just going to kind of step over towards them. He's not going to lean over the body. He's just going to step to the edge of the bed and just going to look down at this pitiful being and say, who or what are you?
You speak the common tongue.
You speak the common tongue. I think that's a little more surprising.
I am hollow.
Okay. Is that the who or is that the what?
I am hollow.
Okay. Well, what are you doing here?
Can I
How'd
do
you
a
come to
divine
be
sense
here?
Well, while this is going on.
You would like to, sorry, what, Valymr?
Just a divine sense, just while this is going on.
Okay. I keep passage for my masters.
You keep passage for your master. Does that mean you're the one who's in control of the portal that's nearby?
I am part.
Don't suppose you could just tell us how to open it up then?
There are 3 locks that need to be broken. You must take the key from me and open the heart.
Will you give this key willingly?
Willingly give. The heart will tell you the second lock. Breton, from where you're standing, give me a quick perception check.
Perception. Here. 17.
As this thing's organs pulse with blood and move, as their heart subtly beats, you see enough movement in the offal to see that impaling them slightly, there is what looks to be a handle.
There's a handle. Okay.
Like something has
Handle of a key.
been pushed into them.
Yeah. If I take this from you, is it going to let your master know someone's been here?
I will no longer be hollow.
Yeah, I suppose that was really kind of a second question. Like, would you just like to be put out of your misery?
My service will complete.
Sounds
Are you
like an answer to
expecting
that
us?
question.
What did you say, Valymr?
Have you been expecting us?
I expect all travelers. I am not the first hollow. I will not be the last. I am hollow. This is the hollow way.
How does one become a hollow?
You complete the locks.
Is there a way to open this portal without becoming a hollow?
The entity doesn't speak.
Well, that might be something we have to give more consideration to. Shit. All right. Ruby, I mean, what are we dealing with here? Like, we figured out how to open up the other portal. Are we going to be able to open it up without the key? I know you haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but...
I won't know until I look at it, yeah.
How far a flight was it for where we were to get to this hut?
About 10 minutes, if that.
10 minutes. 10 minutes is not a big deal.
It
I mean,
was
did we just go ahead and...
under that, but
Did we just go ahead and take the key now so we have it with us? You did say that once we take it, we would understand how to start working on the other locks too.
Yeah. I think so. It's better that we don't have to come back here again afterwards. Like, we can also try and figure out, to understand how to use it. That's kind of why we're here. I'm just kind of not. I'm not really able to shake the feeling that we're going to have to sacrifice a life to get this portal open. Seems very Nullian.
Well, we'll figure that out when we get there. We got smart minds working on it. Breton's gonna take the handle of that key and just start to like pull it from his chest.
mm-hmm. It doesn't resist you, but the scream is harrowing.
For a moment, I was worried it was going to be a moan, and I'm glad it was a scream.
As life leaves this poor, unfortunate soul, Breton, you hear it. The beating of a heart. From outside. The key, by the way, looks to be like the handle of a key, but the very tip of it is a dagger.
Hear the beating of a heart outside.
Yes.
Doesn't hear his allies in the room. None of their hearts are beating, but he hears a heartbeat specifically outside. Yeah. Okay. I think Breton still. I guess he's just gonna. God, is this something he could even just slide into his bag? Just kind of tuck that away. Maybe slide it into his belt holster so it's just there. And then I think he steps over to the window and he's just gonna look outside and say, Does anybody else hear that?
Feel free to make a perception check, you two. Also, the body begins to really rapidly decay. Clears the bed.
I hear my own heartbeat.
18.
Yeah, Valymr, you don't hear anything, but Ruby, as you listen in, you two hear a. Yeah, it's slow, rhythmic.
Can I identify a source or a location?
It sounds to be outside, somewhere near the portal.
Ruby will poke her head out the door.
It's so loud that we can hear it from here.
As you step out and look down towards the portal entrance, it becomes very clear what the source of the beating is. The large circular, off-circular stone has crumbled its stone facade, and you just see this large beating heart. And it's pumping blood towards the various chains and things that it was sort of piped into towards the portal. As well now, all of the runes carved into the portal glowing red.
I think the portal's activating.
Yeah. I think now that we got the key, it's turning on.
Okay, well, balls.
Well, luckily we're here and the army's still on the way, so let's go make sure things are on the up and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ruby, the sooner we figure out how to open this gate, better. If you need to hold on to the key, you take the key.
Alright, I'll do my best.
Okay. So, are you splitting up?
I'm not going to the portal while it's fucking opening with an army next to it. Hell no.
No, I think... Well, currently there's nothing down there, right? It's just the portal.
It's just... So, the portal frame has lit up. There is a giant beating heart.
Yeah.
A massive throbbing heart. You'd probably say about the size of a wagon.
The army probably still has the better part of an hour to get here, so if we want to figure stuff out now before the army gets here, that might not be a bad idea.
The army isn't going to be getting directly here.
Yeah, it's also, they're going to the other place, but still, figuring that out, again, not a bad idea.
Alright, let's go to the portal. I'll see what I can do.
Okay, so you're going to go down from this step. There's, like... This hutted area is off to the side and probably about 60, 70 feet up. It's not hard to get up and down from here.
Especially where you could fly.
Exactly, especially when you can fly. Ruby, from what the creature said that was holding this key, you figure to check out the giant beating heart first. Around like this casing that the heart is like resting on. You read Abyssal, don't you?
I do.
you see in clear script, again, you can also read a lot of the various runes and text. Some of them are just magical runes. Some of them are just words off clearly like names. Some of them are like parts of magical components, parts of spells. Some of it is full sentences. Specifically, you see like a full sentence with grammar around the rim of the heart, which says, "Only the worthy may pass. Prove your devotion in the tongue of the abyss."
Looks like it needs a passcode that's spoken in Abyssal, which I don't have. Prove my devotion in the tongue of the abyss?
Well, if it's a Nullian portal, and they need to prove their devotion. All the figure talked about how the using of the key would help you go about this process, so it might be an act of sacrifice to open up the gate. That would be undesirable.
Yeah.
Can I deduce magically how this portal is supposed to operate? The mechanics behind it? Because I'm familiar enough with teleportation, I'm familiar enough with planar travel. There's always a key. That's how you get from A to B. Tuning forks of planar like that. So what's the tune it requires?
Sure.
I guess.
Give me an Arcana check to start breaking this down.
I will use my font to redo that.
Sure.
$17. Can I add that D12, everybody? The inspiration?
Inspiration will be a reroll.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we had a party D12.
We have D12s from the boon thing, right?
We didn't take that boon.
Oh, we didn't take that one.
I thought we had the inspiration plus the party one.
The party, they're full inspiration points. They're rerolls. It's not.
Oh, okay.
You have favored by the gods still?
I just used it.
No, favored by the gods wouldn't be a reroll.
Oh,
It would be
D6.
plus. It would be 2d4 if I remember correctly from favored by the gods.
Let me double check that real quick. Sorry, it's been a minute.
And that's from Divine Soul.
Yeah. 2d4. Yep. Saving throw or attack roll.
Oh. Fair enough. So yeah, you have Font of Inspiration. You have you have the motive possibility for a reroll, and there's 2 party rerolls as well.
Yeah, I suppose you could use the moat.
I'll use my moat. Come on, baby. Work with me here. Can't roll above a 10. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
It's 17.
You do get something. You from the giant chains and the connection points and what's being said. What it seems so far is you've retrieved the key, but there are 3 locks to this portal that will re-establish the currently broken connection. The first lock is chained by this riddle, so to speak. And there is you get the impression that there will be a series of challenges to unlock this lock. The portal itself seems to be of the portal itself seems to be a corruption on the landscape around it. The bone-like fragmentations of the step that have that the portal's been built into are far more discolored than the others that you've seen. Just elements you've picked up. It's like quite hard to tell undead influence against demonic influence from the abyss, but it's possible. Like, there are clear differences, and even though there's abyssal tongue, it's probably like and abyssal script everywhere, it's more likely to bind it to this location than it is to take it to the next, so to speak. Again, Null is not a creature of the abyss. He's been... The forces here are outcast here. So their influence has to be heavily placative of the world around it. With enough study, you feel like you could find the tuning of the portals separately. To be able to get to the plane that this connects to. However, it would not be a portal big enough for an army. It will be enough for you to essentially planar travel, tuning fork kind of thing. If you're to arcanically evoke this portal powerfully enough that the army is going to be able to pass through it, you'll probably need to activate it under the same rules that apply to the Nullians. Or... yeah, you're not sure. It's not your school of magic. It is horrific blood magic, necromancy involved here.
Chemomancy from hell. Yeah. Or the abyss, I suppose. Yeah, Ruby will explain that to them. Theoretically, I can open it. But as all magic does with this particular field of forbidden awfulness, it has a cost. And one I don't think anybody here is willing to pay.
I mean,
could find a demon.
Nullians are a dead cult, so if you got to pay your homage to them, what would you do? Like, what is it? You sacrifice blood, you sacrifice life, you sacrifice...
Could find a demon and use it on them. Maybe.
And there's no way to figure out what the other keys are going to be without unlocking the first one?
No.
Well, this place is large. You might be able to with some time. But from what Ruby can tell from reading it thus far is things will begin to clarify as things unlock.
Go to our forces and all draw straws.
Or we can use a demon and not use our people.
It's... my understanding of this kind of weird-ass magic is it sacrifice, right? That sacrificing something that we would rather not exist anyway. Like, intent has got to be a part of it. I mean, I assume. If we can use a demon, I'm all for that. I am skeptical of the success of that.
We don't know anything about Nullians. For all we know, they value demon life as much as they value human life.
No lives matter with them, I'm sure.
As a reminder, I've dropped the first clue in Elendor Live. But we are at our midpoint break. So let's take 10 minutes here. Think about it, get those brains in gear, and we'll be back after these messages.